Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming and being here with me today. I am Regina Williams, the barefoot violinist, the RW of Rethinking Weight, and it's all about releasing the weights of life, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally. And so I'm just finishing this challenge for posting every single day for 30 days. I'm so glad it's over. I'm sure my mentoring group will have another assignment for us, but come on, every day for 30 days. It has been challenging, but I have met that challenge and it has helped me along the way and strengthened me for me being mighty. And I'm just so excited about it all. And so we are back to our normal schedule. This is episode 8 of the series, The Journey is Real. And today in the studio, I have my dear high school friend, Stephanie Gaston, class of 80 from Kenwood High School. And just to throw that in, I'm 81 from Kenwood. Akatemi, darling. Thank you so much. So originally, she's from Chicago, Illinois, but Stephanie Gaston is a former educator, a mechanical engineer who loves working with kids. The Tennessee State University graduate arrived in Texas in 1986 and worked for Bell Helicopter, Andrew Corporation, and Boeing in the design and quality engineering departments. During that time, she volunteered thousands of hours over 17 years by heading and or participating in STEM related extracurricular activities for middle and high school students. Wow. As a result, she became a certified teacher and worked in the Fort Worth and Mansfield district for 17 years. Although retired, she's employed part time with TRIO pre college program. She is the wife for 33 years, a mother of two, and glamour of a 6-year-old. Still has the passion for helping others that is evident in the many organizations in which she has been involved in, including Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc., NAACP, AXO, Altrusa Sector Inc., the Fort Worth and Denton Adoption Adopt a School programs, and the Texas Alliance for Minorities in Engineering. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Stephanie, for being in the studio today. Woo, that was a mouthful.
Good stuff. That was good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's good stuff. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. But first, let's talk about this glamour. Okay. Glamour, I have not heard of glamour, but coming from you, I understand. Let's talk about that for a minute. What is glamour?
I actually got that from my friend. We're glamas instead of grandmas.
Your
We are
glamours.
glamas because we are glamorous. We don't want to be grand. We don't want to be old. We want to be
Absolutely, darling.
glamorous.
Oh.
I'm the glamma and she's my glammy. So yes.
Uh-huh.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Oh, and she's 6 years old. That's so precious. That's
Yep.
so precious.
That's my highlight right
Okay.
now. She
And
is
then
something else.
that's your
Yes.
highlight?
It is a highlight. You have to have some change up the monotony every now and then. So yeah. Not that I
She
particularly
keeps you
asked
on
for
your
it this
toes.
way. Oh boy. Like a ballerina all the way on the toes. So but she's fun and she's
Oh my
just
goodness.
smart and I'm
Oh my
teaching her I
goodness.
love life and she loves life. She loves it. She loves it.
Mhm.
And so it just helps. I think it helps. It came at the right time of life because I probably would have just been sitting down doing nothing after I retired and God God knows what he's doing if we just let him. I didn't think I was ready for it and so I'm being shown something different now. I love it.
Oh. Now, have you ever flown a helicopter?
I have never flown. I have to have hours to fly, but I have flown in several helicopters. The first time I did it, I was not by choice. Helicopters are not like airplanes. The whole physics thing is called center
Mm,
of gravity.
I've never been in one.
Well, it's all open.
Mm.
so it's very hard for
Talk
me.
about claustrophobic.
Uh, well, I was gonna say you can sit with the windows down and the doors open, but you probably want to do that either. But I got in for the sake
I can't
of.
get up and walk around like I can on a plane.
Well, yeah, it's definitely different. I was scared, but I did it for United Way. I had a little girl. She came, and I can't remember what
Hmm.
I don't. She had some kind of ailment. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, she said, "Well, I'll go if you go with me." And I looked. I said, "Oh my god!" And that was actually the first time. So I was trying to be cool because I was the oldest one, and she was a little girl, but. Very interesting. I wouldn't want to fly one. It looks like it could be fun, but so
Mm,
it was different, definitely than the airplane. So a little
okay.
scarier.
Never been my interest to fly one. Mm-mm,
Mm-mm,
mm-mm. I'm too
nah,
claustrophobic.
yeah.
That's just too tight. I can't get up and walk around. A plane is bad enough, and it has nothing to do with being thousands of feet up in the air. It's just I just need my space.
Oh,
I've lost 58 pounds, so that's huge. So it
yeah.
was really my space of the space that I was taking up with,
Okay.
with this kadunk kadunk. Right, right, right. But now I'm okay with it. I can even sit at a window. Cause see,
Okay.
before I couldn't do that either. It was like, give me the aisle only. No, 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 no. I don't want to be blocked in,
Okay.
locked in. I can't
Oh
get out.
yeah.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know. I thought I was going to lose my mind once going to the Philippines. That the hours flying, and this man would not switch with me. And all he did was sleep in the same position the entire time, and he
Oh,
would not switch with me. So I'm like, okay, every time I have to get up,
oh, do you?
I woke him up
Well,
like every single time. I was like, see, all you had to do was switch with me, and I would have been fine. But
oh.
no,
But no,
always, always.
no,
I
no,
guess I was
no.
the one.
And then helicopters. Remember, helicopters would get you there faster. So for me, it's a quick,
Oh, that's true.
jump. You're there.
Oh, okay.
The Philippines is not
Yeah,
a
yeah,
helicopter
yeah,
ride,
yeah.
so that
No,
would not be fun.
no, 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 not at all. Okay, so you have done so much, Stephanie, that we could talk about it all day long, and how you've built a great career, amazing career, being a teacher, helping others, the love of helping for others, the life of a glamour. But let's talk about Stephanie after retirement.
Ooh,
How is life treating you physically, mentally, emotionally
oh boy,
during this time of your life? This season is a new season, retirement. Oh my gosh.
yeah, retirement, and the thing is that it was unexpected. Retirement happened because it had to happen.
Mm, mm,
As a result of the
mm,
change. Yeah. Well, as a result of the changes in education, I quit being an engineer to be a teacher, and everybody thought I was crazy.
mm-hmm.
All my friends were educators. 95% of my
Before
friends
we
when I was an
continue, let's pause
engineer
for just a moment.
were educators.
This is for the woman who knows she's meant to feel better in her body, but hasn't quite known where to begin. If that sounds like you, Rethinking Weight was created with you in mind. Inside the Rethinking Weight membership, you'll find steady encouragement, nourishing plant-based recipes, and a supportive community that reminds you you're not walking this journey alone. And if membership isn't your next step just yet, the Rethinking Weight e-cookbooks are a beautiful place to start. Filled with real food, practical guidance, and simple shifts that can make a meaningful difference. Whenever you're ready, visit rethinkingweight.com and take one gentle step forward. We'll be right here.
And I had to wait. Like, nah, my mama sent me to school to be an engineer. Da, 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 da. And then after a while, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. And because everything that I had done after school, after work, had to do with kids, and all my friends were educators. So I said, okay, Lou, I'm going to go ahead and do it. One of the
You
best
might
things
as well.
I did. And it was one of the best things I'd done. And so I saw myself retiring as a teacher. However, not the way that it happened, because the word forced has come about because
Mm,
I had an anxiety attack. And I had never had one of those
okay.
before. Probably
Girl teaching
maybe more
teaching
like
in a high school, I understand.
more like a panic attack. I realized that
Okay.
I was doing something that I was it was making me ill. And I just kept playing it off because I'm like, I'm a teacher. I got this.
Mm,
And I did. Like I said, I loved it. I all those organizations I was
Mm-hmm.
in, I had to pretty much slow down on a lot or stop because I spent my time at school. My my altruism, that's the word. I went to those kids. I always taught kids who just needed that extra help, and I love that, especially when they listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what I loved. So I went
Mm-hmm.
to football
Mm-hmm.
games and basketball games and blah 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 blah. So I met parents, and then all of that. So the trusting came about really easily, and the kids like that. They like to see the other side. But that year that I had to retire, I kept finding myself behind and behind, and then I actually said the word that it was a word like you don't know what you're doing, and I had never said that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really bad. And I sat there and I said, "Oh my God, why are you so behind? You've done this for 16 years. What's wrong?" And I couldn't put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just always behind. I couldn't do, and a lot of it again, not just the kids. The kids are there. That's they're supposed to be there, but it was things that were changing. I was living in Texas. The governor just kind of held us by the throat and said, "Hey, we're not going to give you money. If you don't do for me, I'm not going to do for you." And a lot of things
Oh,
changed.
wow.
Teachers weren't teach. I think I taught maybe 1/3 of the time. So that means the 2/3 of the time it
Hmm.
was administration and was doing reports and entering data and all those things that extra things that technically teachers shouldn't have to do. We should just
Mm-hmm.
teach. But it wasn't like
No,
that anymore.
no.
And
Just
so
teach. That's it.
no, and people who think that teachers just teach, they don't. And I still say we, so if I
Mm-mm.
say we, that's why. But it just became difficult. And that one
No, that's
day
fine.
I was sitting in front of
Yeah.
my class, and my students have never seen me do anything like I was doing. Um, but they knew something was wrong. And I always tell them, they know that I have their back, and I'm like, y'all have my back. So they was like, "Miss Gaston, do we call 911? What do we do?" I was like, "Just don't do anything. Let's just sit here for a second. Let Miss Gaston just sit here for a second." And so I left that day, and I told my husband, and I came back, and I wasn't listening. After the second one,
Mm-hmm.
the whole be still and know. I have been in church. My husband's a minister. My kids went through church. I was a deaconess. I sang in the choir. Da, 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 da. That's me. I'm gonna give it all to you. But I never really sat still
Mm-hmm.
and listened. He made me. And so the second time that happened, I said,
Mm.
it's time to retire. Um, I don't want to, but I could
Mm-hmm.
not keep up with what I was doing anymore. So I came home, and my
Mm-hmm.
husband said, "You just sat for days." Like, it was a lot on my mind. That
Wow.
whole emotionally, I was a wreck. And I
Mm.
just couldn't figure out. And then I'll be still, shut up, just it's okay. And the fact that my husband had me, which was the biggest blessing ever. And so it took about 4 months. I
Yes.
actually got up, but I had to just go through, okay, but you were talking about physically, mentally, emotionally. All those were in the trash for me.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I have gained all this weight, and so I had to go back in my past and figure out what is going on with you. So then I started going to the doctor, and I started finding out, all these things. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have the classical things. So nobody can figure out what's wrong with you, girl. You look fine.
Oh
Why don't you take a
God.
trip inside and see the stuff that's going on inside? Go come up to my brain because it's hurting too. So it was all at one time. And so I told my friend, really good friend of mine, we were playing, we were just joking. I think I was just joking. We were at dinner, and I said, "Girl, I need a job." She said, "Okay." So in a couple months, I had a part-time job doing exactly what I wanted to do as a teacher, help kids figure out what they want to do with their lives because they are not staying home with their parents the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was always a joke for me, being
Mm-hmm.
an older
Mm-hmm.
teacher. So I really did have to work on the emotional part of not being a teacher. I to sit here and cry. I love being a teacher. I love my students. I see my students now; they
Oh.
got babies, and I'm like, "Oh my God, no!" "Oh, you are that old, aren't you?"
Oh.
So, but mentally, kind of just getting through. Okay, what are you going to do? Because there are things that you've got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that all
Mm-hmm.
just, it was a lot. It it was a lot more than I thought. But I found out that working helped. In the midst of that, um, little Miss Mama, my glammy, she decides to pop up in our lives. What? Longest story, another podcast. Son had to have had a baby, and we finally found her. We finally found out.
Oh,
Uh, she was not living in a good situation. They try, but they
okay.
know I'm older. We raised kids. You know how to do things, but we had
Mm-hmm.
the means, and we needed to help. So being the now just being the highlight
Yeah.
for both of us, me and my husband, I guess we got tired. We just look at each other. If we looking at each other, we go through trying to find a movie, and we go fall asleep trying to find a movie. It's like, she won't let you do that. Like, we'll find a movie. Let's find a movie. But and it has
Oh
been interesting
gosh.
just realizing that you raise your kids, and it's different when you're a grandparent because you just don't do the
Mhm.
same things, or you don't do the same thing the same way. Life is simpler now.
Right,
You don't have
right.
to worry about
Hmm.
there's no drama. Like, you know what? I'm too old. I can't do that anymore. And I really can't, because it's like, ooh, if you start, I'm just gonna say, not me. I want to spend my energy doing something else. I want to spend my energy with my
Right.
glammy. I want to spend my energy with my students and telling them how important it is to be positive and not so negative, because a lot of things in their mind, the
Right,
music that they
right.
listen to and the things that they watch, and so I tell them my age. I immediately give them a math problem as soon as I meet them. I'm like, I was born in '62. How old am I? They're like 64. Yeah, like 64. Da, da, da. Okay, right. But because I love my life, and you gotta love yours too. So with that, a lot of things have
That's good.
changed.
I like that. I
Got to
like
do the
that.
the physical, my physical part now is other things that I can do. I get stuck because I don't want to. But at 64, you kind of don't have a choice, because it's like, what you waiting for?
Hmm.
You can't wait no longer.
Right. Let's go back for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to stop your flow, but you talked about how you recognized that there was something going on.
Mm-hmm.
That is so key because there's so many women that are going through something. They have no idea what's happening.
Ooh,
And they just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing until they basically pass out,
yes, ma'am.
or something worse happens.
Yes,
And they don't want, it is called self sabotage,
yes.
whereas you just realize something's going on and you just don't, thinking that avoidance will change it, and it won't. Or you just have, what is the other word for it? You're just in complete denial,
Yes.
which is almost basically the same thing. But it you just
Well,
take the
not really.
time to not do what you're supposed to do for yourself. You're not taking time
Right.
out for you.
Right.
You're not taking time to make sure that you are healthy in whatever area that
Right.
you're going through. We're getting older. I'm 63. This is my golden year. I was born in 63 and I'm 63.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And as well as I've got all these sixes and threes because I'm born 3 3 63, right? So, for me, it's like I realized when I first started rethinking weight, my whole thing was looking at my family's history of what was going on. And if I had continued to eat like they ate, I'd be right where they are,
Whew. Yeah.
and I realized that I had to step back. It's like, you've got some problems. You've got to lose this weight. If you don't, there's going to be some issues happening. Then, menopause hit, and it was like, oh my
Ooh.
God, this is like, what else is happening here? What is
I
going
know.
on?
I
It's
know.
like, my emotions, there's no cold, what is it called? The hot flashes and the sweats and stuff. I don't go through that, although, well, the covers do come off and go on back and forth, but going through what most people, but my emotions, like anything is like, I feel like sometimes it's like I could just go someplace in a corner and just scream, you know. But it's good to recognize when you're going through something so that you can start right there and making a difference and making a change and making it better.
Right. And
And
we
it
have
was
to
good
get
that you
there.
took that time to realize something was happening. We got to get there. We got to get there. And sometimes God's got to shake us up to wake us up. Realize you need to really sit down.
And I would not have still. I mean, the first time that happened, I went back to school the next week. I'm good. A strong
Mm-hmm.
woman. We got it. And he was like, no,
Uh-huh.
no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
The
you
superwoman.
know,
No, we're not.
yeah, and I love him. And so I know he was talking like this, saying, I'm trying to help you, girl. I'm trying to, you're not listening. You still,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then just, that girl, that be still was just so powerful. But we're women. Um, we live everybody's lives. You get married, you got to live his life. You got to make sure everything is make sure. So make sure that he has and that he does and that he remembers.
It's for him. Him.
And then let's have some
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Right.
if
And
you
then you
have
have
more than
kids.
two, ooh,
Right. Right.
oh, oh my. How on earth do
It's
you
all
do
about
that?
them.
And it was. And see, now for me, I'm gonna be honest. And like I think it was COVID. Um, that
Mm-hmm.
was that was alarming for me as a teacher, and I think it was alarming in other ways as well, because you were talking about being in denial, and I was like, oh, everything's okay. But I found myself crying actually when we were going to go back to school and we had to set our desk up 6 feet apart. Well, every teacher already knew when we heard that we would need a gym for that. So we knew it wasn't going to work. But I was putting tape on the
Mm-hmm.
on my rug so that the kids wouldn't don't cross this line. And I just sat there. I just stood there, right, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't gonna work.
Wow.
And then I think and I think
Mm-hmm.
everything just for me it just started going on. I think COVID was like a personal. I got it, but I didn't get it like really bad. But some of my friends were dying, and it was like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
this is
Mm-hmm.
real. And I
Mm-hmm.
think as a
I had it
country,
3 times.
oh my God, and we were supposed to
Yeah.
do something different. We were supposed to this isn't normal. And I think and then when 60 hit, yeah, yeah, I mean, I was grateful, but I lost some friends. I had friends that were so sick, they couldn't move, and I just listening to
Yeah.
them and realizing how close they were, and so I think that affected me. And then I started waking up. All that to say, I think I
Mm-hmm.
started waking up, and I was telling my husband the emotional part. It was, you know what? I need more from you. You do a lot. I, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it was
Mm-hmm.
hard to explain. He
Mm-hmm.
couldn't understand it. What do you mean? I do. I'm like, you do, but I'm not getting, I'm not getting what I need. And now that started like a 5 year
Mm-hmm.
journey because trying to explain it to
Mm-hmm.
somebody who, for me, he was doing. For him, he was doing. But for me, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that was all the combination of my kids had become grown, and here we are. We were empty nesting at the time. And I ended up talking to some really, really good, great people, some of my really, really great friends. Just them listening to me and them me listening to them, they became therapists. And it was amazing because the things that they were saying were like, wow, I just never thought about it that way. And basically it all came down to
Mm-hmm.
who are you? Who are you taking care? Who are you? um, I was mom,
Mm-hmm.
I was wifey, I was everything, everybody but Stephanie. And
Mm-hmm.
that it just took over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
say that the life then was bad. It wasn't. It was I got married at 30. So my life's been in third. 0 to 30, 30 to 60, here I am. All right. And it was
Mm-hmm.
great. It was church. It was fun. It was the kids in Sunday school and let's teach Sunday school and let's go here and let's go there
Mm-hmm.
and let's have all this amazing time in this part of the life. And it was
You've
good.
always been active.
I,
Yeah.
I yeah, you have to be like
Yeah.
and my husband
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
And so he was like, whew. I was like, come on, let's go. He never totally opposite me from the country, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, when I realized I didn't know who I
Yeah.
was, I had to take some time. And I really did. And I hadn't told you, but I
Mm.
did. I ran away in 2021. That was really extreme.
Wow.
But you talking about going in the corner. I didn't even have to go in the corner. I just wanted to scream right where I was and hold on to my head because it felt like
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
going. And so all that
Mhm.
happened, and I
Mhm.
came back. And when I came back, um, because I left here, then I had to go find another teaching job. And that's when all this started happening. It was like, I don't want to be here. What do you mean you don't want to be here? You love this. I don't like this anymore. What do you mean? It took a couple years to evaluate all of that and realize that no, you can't do this anymore. And so, and that was that. It hurt. That was painful. That was. I wanted to be the old teacher they talked about. Ooh, Miss Gaston, my old Miss Gaston was, y'all. She was still teaching, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But as a result, it's okay. And now the job that I've been blessed with, oh my gosh, is exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want all the other red tape teaching stuff, but it gives me a chance to talk to people. I find myself talking to parents a lot too. The women, of course, I have a lot of moms that, dealing with their boys. And so now I get a chance to do that too. I
Mhm.
find myself
Mhm.
being the elder, and I listen to the things that they say, and I'm like, yeah, why don't you, not so much, why don't you try this, but why don't you think about this and think about that. So then I become friends with them, you know. But I've never really talked to people until recently, and realizing what women are going through, that I actually see it, and then I ask them,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
just when you're doing other things, you're so into the sorority, you're so into altruism, you're so into doing all these things that you don't have time to
You don't
talk.
see.
Let's
You don't
go. It's like
see.
at the church, we got to go someplace and sit down and talk,
Right.
because I've seen you all day, but we haven't talked. And I thought that was really, really, really
Mhm.
important. That for me, I know that people know that you're there, that I can be, if you need
Mhm.
me to. Why I love coming home in the summer, why I love calling people going, y'all got to get home. You got to enjoy this while you can. Chicago is always going to be
Yeah.
Chicago. And
Yeah.
Chicago is the bomb.
Yeah.
I don't care where you are, and your mom or your dad's not there, but
Summertime.
summertime in this city is just amazing.
Summertime is the city.
And so
Yeah, it's
that
nothing
helps
like it.
me
It's
a
nothing like
lot.
it. The lakefront, the everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Hyde
And
Park.
I've
Oh,
always been told that you've been going home. Wow. I'll celebrate 40 years being in Texas next month, and and
wow.
I come home every year. My bestie here, her name is Stephanie. Of course, her name is Stephanie too. She says, "Oh, girl, I always want to go home." She said, "When you go home, you fill up and you come back, and you're 10 feet off the ground."
Yeah.
And so I've always done that, but I need to do that. I love coming home. Yes, I get to see my mom. I'm blessed.
Mhm.
My dad
Mhm.
just died. My sisters are there, but
I
my
love your mom. It was the first
girl,
time I got a chance to see your mom was unfortunately at your father's funeral, but
well, girl, she'll be at the
yeah, I love
picnic.
your
She
mom.
goes. She goes to every. She's been to the first picnic. I was looking at pictures, 2013 for the first decade. She was there, and she was there last year.
Wait a
So
minute. She said, wait a minute, I gotta tell you this. She said, now who are you? I haven't met you before. Where you been?
a lot of people do know
I'm
her.
like,
She
okay,
not
mama.
necessarily right, but once she got you, she got you. She definitely has. Because
Right, right,
I must admit,
right.
she has met a lot of people. People tell me, say, "Can I just go see your mama? You don't have to be here." What? Okay, sure. No, no problem. No problem.
Let's go back just a little bit. Um, there's something about living your life in seasons.
Mm,
And we never know when that season is about to begin. Sometimes we can feel when it's about to begin, but we sometimes we don't know when it's about to end or when God wants to end it,
mm-hmm.
not us. Because we get comfortable. We get situated, we get comfortable. We're creatures of habit. We don't like change, right? Whew. And so sometimes remember what I said, God's got to shake you up and wake you up.
Oof.
Well, I spoke about this on one of my sessions. I think I was doing some painting and was talking. Um, and when you are, and it has nothing to do with doing anything wrong, but when you're not in your rightful place, you block somebody from being in the place that they should be in because you're there if you don't move when you're supposed to
Mm.
move. And then when you are in the place that you're supposed to be in, everything is going to flow the way it's supposed to flow because that's where you're supposed to be for such time as this. And
Yes, ma'am.
so it was interesting how God kind of shook you up to kind of get you out of where you were because you already said it. I wanted to hear my students say, "Oh, that old Miss Gaston, remember that teacher? She's still teaching." Oh, right? That's what you wanted. But God was like, "There's something else that I have for you. Something else that I need
Girl.
you to move into. That you're not gonna unless I push you. You may not go on your own."
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
just like I always say that COVID was for me. I'm the reason why there was a COVID, because God kept saying you need to leave the church that you're in. I'm like, no, I started playing my violin at this church because I had
Uh,
stopped playing for 24 years. And so and I wasn't playing at my old church, but God was like, you've got to leave that church. And when he did, I knew and I felt it. And so I moved from one church to this other church. And he kept saying, it's time to go. It's time to go. I'm like, I'm not going. So then COVID came, and then nobody was at church. Then all of a sudden everybody started coming back to church. And I'm like, well, God, everybody's back in church. I'm not in church because I'm not feeling it. But I'm feel like a backslider. Like I'm not in church. I'm not doing what like I'm supposed to do. Worship is not the same, because I was playing my violin at that point. I was singing the choir, and then after that I started playing my violin. And so he was like, you can't go back. I'm like, well, I got to go somewhere. Where are you
mm,
going to put me? And then I got this call from this woman's like, oh, I used to watch you when you were on tour with this group. And, I want you to play for my children's wedding, and I want to surprise them. And then all of a sudden I played, and then it looked like the bride ran to the front. Something else happened and the music was cut short. I'm like, I really didn't play that much. But when I was about to leave, my pastor was like, or the pastor was like, well, I felt like I needed to say goodbye to the pastor. That's what it is.
okay.
And so I'm like, I don't know why I got to say bye to the pastor. I don't know this pastor. But then when I went over to him, he was like, wait a minute, stop. Who are you? Where did you come from? Like, can you play tomorrow? Like, and the next thing I know,
Jeez.
I was playing the next day. And then after that, he was like, okay, can we have you like every Sunday? Like, we'll pay you. But I'm
Wow.
like, pay? Hey,
Wow.
okay, you said the magic word. So now I'm a hired musician playing, for my church. And so, but the whole thing was I would have never left that other church to be where I am, for God to move me into my next season if He didn't push me, shove me, kick me, whatever the case may be, did COVID, as far as I'm concerned,
Mhm.
to get me out from where I was, So yeah, you are where you are right now because God had to do a little pushing and shoving to get you out from where you were to where you are now. And that is incredible.
Yeah. I would have never done that alone.
See?
Yeah. I think that took a lot. And I'm glad to be able to say that because I tell that to people. And it just, and it's how simple is be still. Like we hear that all the time. Be still and know. Mm-mm. So at least I can say that to people now. You know what? And it took 4 months. Okay. But I had to be still. Just, and it's okay because I don't remember also sitting going, ooh, I need to be doing something. When you finally do, I wasn't doing that. I was still. So I'm so grateful.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so grateful. And it was definitely
Mm.
right on time because then when 60 came, it was like, oh, I got something else for you now. So yeah,
New
60
chapter. I
definitely.
wasn't expecting to do Rethinking Weight. Yeah, this has been 63 and I'm starting something new. I have been talking about this podcast show, but sometimes we get so comfortable like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Oh, one day, girl. Oh, yeah, girl, give me the right time moment. I'm gonna be. And then God was like, no, it's now with a foot down. I felt it,
Ooh, yeah.
and now I started on my birthday, March 3rd. I made the announcement, and here I am. I have done what 38 episodes. Doing it on the day to day was just something completely different. And one thing people always say is like, how do you do it? Like you're playing your violin, you're being hired to play for like different weddings and different events, and you're running here, you're doing that, you're doing this Rethinking Weight, you're playing at church, you're teaching at a high school, you got private students for violin, you paint, and that's one of my paintings behind me that I did. It's a sculpted painting piece. And so Yeah, and I'm painting. Working on a new piece right now, and it was like, how do you do all this? And I
Yes.
said,
Ow.
there's two things to this. It's two things. It's very simple, very easy. When you do everything yourself and God is not there, it will drive you crazy. You will
Woo!
say, "Oh, I'm doing this, and girl, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm just so frustrated. I'm just so, oh, I'm so mad. I'm so this, I'm so that, and blah, 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 blah." You have a complaint about everything that you're doing
No.
while you're doing it, but you love doing it, and maybe sometimes you love complaining and
Yeah.
talking about it. See,
Yeah.
the other thing is when you're doing what God has for you, what He's called for you to do, it is the most easiest, most fun. Not that it won't get frustrating, not that it won't be tiring, but you can keep doing it because starting this thing in the midst of the Hulk behind me. Where is he? Where is
He's
he?
way behind.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is he this way? There he
I
is.
saw
There
him
he is.
behind. He's directly
The
behind.
Hulk
Yep.
is part of, yeah, he's directly behind me.
Right.
The Hulk here is part of our my business partner, who's my boyfriend, our 501c3 nonprofit organization. And we have a major contract that we're doing in Evanston this whole summer, and we're excited about it. So it's like, yeah, I'm doing like all this stuff, but God has little by little giving us the assignment so that once He gives you the big picture, you know exactly what to do, and everything falls right in place.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
We are ending part one of Finding Stephanie. Remember, we are not just losing weight, we are releasing weight, physical weight, emotional weight, mental weight, and anything else that has been trying to hold us down. Be strong, be intentional. Whatever you do, do it well. Be mighty. BMMT, body, mind, movement, truth. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday for part two of Finding Stephanie. See you soon. Okay, bye for now.